What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. And here I am, close to Oatman. You know, in my last video, like when I was doing this curvy road, I figured I'd give you guys the, I guess you can say it's kind of been, you know, maybe a little over 2 years since I've had this bike, and figured I'd give you guys a review after, you know, 2-year review on this bike, and what I've gone through and all that stuff. So as you can tell, you know, I went back to white again on my bike, but so yeah, after 2 years, you know, I'm still loving the bike. There's nothing wrong with it, as always. You know, I try to take good care of my bike, and still running the, you know, the stock tires on here. I still, after, I think I've got about almost 9,000 miles on this thing, and I haven't actually done a whole bunch to it, like maintenance wise. It's been pretty good to me maintenance wise. I mean, I think coming up here soon I'm going to be doing the probably the spark plugs after I want to say the maintenance interval. The maintenance interval for spark plugs would probably, I think it's like 8,000 miles, something like that. I don't know, I'll have to look in the book. But I mean, look at that view. It's such a nice view. But yeah, still after 2 years, you know, still running the stock tires, the stock brake pads. I haven't had to do like a whole bunch of maintenance to it, you know, besides regular oil changes on it. Still haven't, like, you know, bled the brakes or anything, and everything is still pretty good roughly. The only thing I've done to it is, like I said in one of my other videos, is tighten up the chain maybe like once, because it was starting to get a little sloppy. I don't know if it's a common thing with these things, but with like the chain, I guess there's a lot of chain noise. I don't know if it's just because it's, you know, a metal sprocket and metal chain. You know, obviously, like, there's some chains that help quiet it and all that stuff, but yeah. So besides the normal stuff I have done before in my last video, as like far as mods, you know, like I had put a different taillight in there with turn signals in it and all that stuff. I got rid of the crappy turn signal ones that I hear, the bulky ones that I don't like. You know, the same grips and the handlebars and everything I've pretty much done to it. I mean, like I said, recently all I've done to it is really just kind of paint it white, but still no issues with it at all, actually. Like I said, still a lot of the stock, actually everything's pretty much stock except for, you know, what I've done to it, but overall, like, you know, it's if you're looking for a, I don't want to say a starter bike, because most people say not to get this bike for a starter bike because it is kind of torquey, you know, and you don't want to give a beginner rider a bike with a lot of torque, because then they're obviously going to loop it and they're going to fucking just wreck the bike and all that shit and all that. But obviously, I think if you've had, like, you know, a beginner bike for a while, say like, you know, 200 or 300 400cc bike, right, and you've had it for a while and you think you're getting the hang of it pretty well, and you're ready to, like, kind of step it up, you know, this would be a good second bike, as most people would probably say. There's been a lot of videos, even when I first got my bike, people were saying, you know, if you've never had a bike before, don't get this bike, just because it does got a lot of torque to it, and you could possibly just fucking wheelie it and wreck it, and obviously that's not good. You don't want to do that with a brand new bike. So, but because I've ridden bikes in the past, and this is actually my first street bike, I went for it anyways, and like I said, I've ridden before, so I wasn't good. Obviously I didn't know how to wheelie, and I mean, I'm still kind of getting the hang of it, and you know, so for me, it worked out for me. But I'm slowly, right now, I am like slowly getting to the point of, you know, kind of wanting a bigger bike. I'm gonna take a few pictures real quick here, because this is an awesome view. But yeah, overall, I mean, for me, after having it for a little over 2 years, you know, I still like the bike. You know, the only thing that obviously that, you know, it's not the greatest is obviously if you're trying to do highway speeds, obviously, because it doesn't have, you know, the fairings like that. So it is pretty fucking windy when you're on the freeway, especially if it's a windy day, you know. But like I said, overall, like I don't regret this bike at all. It's a good overall, you know, overall around good bike. You know, it's decently priced. It's got a decent amount of power. It's pretty torquey. It's good for wheelies, and you know, it still gets, you know, good gas mileage and all that stuff, and it's pretty reliable. Like I said, I haven't, after 9,000 miles, like nothing's broken down on it or anything. I probably shouldn't be saying that while I'm out in the middle of nowhere, but yeah, overall good bike for the price. You know, it's a decent amount of power. It's a good looking bike, you know. Decent price, good looking bike. Overall, like, you know, suspension, the front forks, the suspension is not the greatest. You know, it's kind of bouncy. But if you do the front fork mod, or the front fork mod, where obviously if you know, depending on your weight size, if you cut the spacer and drain the oil and put in thicker oil, like it hardens it up and makes it better. I have yet to do it, which I plan on doing at some point, just because I don't like the bouncy forks. You know, that's what keeps you kind of planted more. It's not like a fucking boat ride. But the rear shock, I haven't really had issues with it. Like for me, like it rides just fine for me. But you know, depending on your weight, it just depends, I guess, on your riding style. I would recommend, if you get this bike, well, this is a 2019. I don't know if they've made so much differences about the you know, 2023 or 20 model or whatever, you know. My seat was extremely uncomfortable for anything over like a half-hour ride, because the hard density foam, it's just not comfortable for long rides one bit. So I have, obviously you can kind of tell the imprint here. I took the material off here. I cut out some of the hard density foam, and I put in some memory foam right here, so it's actually like 20 times more comfortable. I plan on like redoing it and fixing it, making it look a little bit better. But if you have that issue, it's really not that hard to do this. So just get like if you want to do it, you know, make your seat more comfortable, take off the cover or the material and kind of trace it around to fit your seat, and just put memory foam in here. Memory foam, I can literally ride for like 5-6 hours and not one problem at all. I think that's just the one thing they really fucked up on the seat. You can buy a comfort key or a comfort seat for like $300, but that's if you want to spend that much money. And obviously the front forks are bouncy, but other than that, if you're looking for a good, you know, riding bike, you know, like around town or like curvy roads like this is definitely a good choice. Good price. You know, it's a pretty good overall, like kind of first or second kind of bike, you know. And so yeah, I don't know if this really helps you, but hopefully you guys like the review, like the view, and yeah, see you guys in the next one.